Hello, everybody. It is Regina Rossi Lamath. I am here for you from Here For You Connections and Resources and on my personal Facebook page, Regina Rossi Lamath. I am super excited this Tuesday, December 15th. We're a little late. We're after 4 o'clock, still learning these beautiful social media platforms, but I'm excited to have Diane Pratt with us for our second interview, guys. You remember her, and if you haven't had a chance to watch it, you can watch it. But you might remember her as she was on just a few weeks ago with regards to Reiki and Reiki healing and Reiki energy, and really just discussing her wonderful business around that and the impact that Reiki can have on our body physically, on our mind mentally, and in our spirit and in our heart. And I had a really wonderful conversation with Diane. She is an extraordinary personal and corporate coach, and she is here to talk about a brand new program that she's created to help people like me as an entrepreneur and definitely businesses and corporate businesses called Swiped 21. Did I say that right?
You absolutely did.
Excellent. So welcome, Diane Pratt. Thank you for coming back for your second interview. I love that you offer so many different modalities that we can really get it out there for everybody who is interested in anything from Reiki healing to personal one-on-one coaching and this new program. So here you are. You shared with me earlier that you are in Manhattan today?
Today I am in the city, in an office. And so if you hear sirens, that's just part of the city landscape.
Absolutely.
Usually it's someone either going or coming from the, ambulances. But so I created, and Regina, thank you for having me back. And thank you everyone for participating in our last event. And also again, for coming back to today's event. I'm so excited to be here and be with everyone. So if you have questions, absolutely type them in or save them until the end and just send them to Regina and I. But
yes.
I called it Swiped 21. So we're in December, celebrating many different holidays right now. Hanukkah, Christmas is coming up. And then also I'm sure there are other holidays for individuals that are around. But this is the Gregorian calendar, and we are closing the year in December, and we're opening up a new year in January 2021. And I remember, being in corporate and working, it was all about what's your plan for next year and what are your goals. And you had to set your goals probably back in September, October for 2021, and then you work towards them. And, COVID's a little different. So it doesn't really matter, although we have that and we're home, we still have goals, whether they're personal, right? Whether you have a family, if you have family, you have goals for your children. You may not write them down. You might have goals for yourself. Maybe this year you were home and you're like, I really need to start moving. I need to do some kind of exercise, not necessarily the gym, but something else. Or you're like, there's a lot of opportunity to start new businesses. And what can I create to start something to support people now? And how do I do that? Especially if I'm working or if I have children and I have to homeschool them. And so Swiped is Stay With It Planning Events Day 21.
I like it.
I know. What am I calling this? What am I calling this? I could have used all kinds of acronyms, right? And I just was sitting there and I'm on the phone and I'm like, oh. And then interestingly enough, when I was telling my friend about it, she says, oh, somebody just did a song on being swiped on the phone. It was around dating. So I said, okay, I need to find it because, regardless dating or not, I'm sure it'd be a cute song to play. But so Stay With It, Planning Events Day. And you don't have to have a plan. You don't have to have a program to come in and join us. It's really about looking at what you want to create. And the concept is that we'll have 4 hours together. And in those 4 hours, I'll speak to what stops us. So a lot of times, and we both have been through many growth and development courses. We've been with coaches, and we continuously educate ourselves
Yes.
and work on it, because just because you're in a course or do a program, it's really great. It pumps you up, but then you need sustainability. And,
Yes.
it's like being a dieter. It's like going on a diet. You lose those 10, 15 pounds, and you're in that excitement mode, and you have all the support you need if you're in a program while you're doing that. And then you reach your goal weight, and you're like on your own. Where do you go? And then, there's the ice cream tonight, and then, one more. And before you know it, you're back to your old habits. And that's kind of how coaching works. And any kind of workshop you're in, you get in, you're all pumped. And depending on who you are, you can actually also be overwhelmed, because now you get into this.
Who can relate? Hold on. If you're listening, writing comments on my Facebook, hashtag who can relate. Overwhelm.
You're sitting there and you're listening to someone speak, whatever the content is, and you're like, oh my God, that's me. Oh my God, now I have all this information. And then just even trying to think of a plan or a program, and you have all these fantastic ideas. And the reality is, if we're not focused, and again, there's nothing wrong. It just is. This is the way it is. And having done this for so long, I know that if we're not focused on one or two things, we actually don't get anything done, because we can't decide. And when you can't decide, you're just in limbo. And you're in limbo, and you're not helping yourself. You're not helping anyone else. And so how do you decide? How do you get to the point where you can decide and you pick one? And I'll go through that and give some examples. They'll have some worksheets. We always have questionnaires, because I love questionnaires for participants, and that allows us to be focused. What is it you want? What is the outcome you'd like to achieve? And again, it's not really about whether that happens exactly the way you write it down, because sometimes when we have goals, we have an idea of how this should look. And as you know, Regina, it turns out totally different.
Yes, many times.
Many times it's not even the way we envisioned it. It doesn't mean that we don't fulfill on our vision. We get our vision, but it's not the path that we thought it would take us. And so being aware. So a lot of my coaching with my clients, one-on-one coaching, is about awareness. I was coaching with a senior executive, and she worked for a company, but she also was contracted, and her plan was to retire. That's the conversation she had with her husband. She was going to retire. She did one more 2-year program that she was brought on for, and then she was going to retire. And in the process of her being with her last 2 years, they offered her another one.
Another project
for another 2 years. And it was too good to turn down. And so she took it. And then her husband was all bent out of shape. Rightfully so. And this is not a man-woman thing, and it's not making either party right or wrong, right? And so she was complaining that he was all bent out of shape, instead of seeing her vision, which was, I can work 2 more years, we gain X amount of more money, and that will help us with our travels. And so I actually said, because when I coach, it's not about defending or making wrong either party, right?
Right.
And I just simply asked, did you actually have a question? Did you and your husband really talk about what retirement's going to look like? Are you going to be together 24/7? Are you going to travel 3 months out of the year? Are you going to be home doing projects together, whatever that is? What do you envision your retirement to look like? What do you envision that you are going to do? And what do you envision that your husband's going to do? And she goes, no. And I said, if you look at it from his point of view, And from your point of view, you guys really don't even know what your retirement is going to look like. And yet you told him that you're going to retire and you changed your plan and you didn't share it.
Mm.
She had an aha moment, because I then, of course, go, where else in your life have you done this that has caused a little bit of friction?
If Josh is listening right now, you know my husband really well. You know me very well because we've been on about 7 years of coaching and mentoring each other, in our weekly call. I'm a pivot master. I call it pivot master. I make it really pretty, right? I tell him one thing. Oh, we're leaving here, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And by the time he's upstairs and he's got everything ready, he comes back down and he's like, why aren't you ready? And I'm like, oh, because now we're doing this. And he's like, what? So again, everybody relates. Hashtag pivot master.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then I also worked with someone that was newly married, and this happened to me as well. I didn't get married until my 30s, and I wasn't used to sharing with someone what I was going to do. If I, after work, if I wanted to go shopping or do something or pick something up, I would do it. I didn't report to anyone. And so, and so was this young lady. And he would get upset and then they would have a fight. And she's like, but he doesn't trust me. And I said, it's really not about trust. It's about communication, and it's about partnership, and it's about letting the other know where you are in the event something happens. And that was really eye-opening for her.
Yeah.
As young women, we have the idea that, that men want to control us, and now I lost my freedom. And we don't really look at our husband as a partner.
Mm.
And there's no age attached to it. So it's not something when you're in your 20s or 40s or 50s or 60s. There's no age attached to that. You could be married for 40 years and never have done that. And that causes a lot of strife and hurt and misunderstanding, mostly misunderstanding, which produces all the other things. And, in some instances, a lot of fighting, which is unnecessary. But if you actually looked at your partner as a partner and share things with them versus looking at, oh, they want to know my business and they want to know everything I do, because I still had the girlfriends that would go shopping and hide things and, sneak them in the house. And of course, then when they were found out because they didn't take the tags off the clothes. And, men actually do listen to women and they do notice. They just don't necessarily say it. So if he's wearing something new, chances are he does notice it. He may choose not to say anything because he doesn't want to go down that road.
So it sounds like as we're pulling this all together inside the program, you get an opportunity to spend 4 hours with you and really look at creating some goals, creating something, but breaking it down into these steps like you were sharing about the coaching, your particular 2 clients, is that we don't really go through all of those extra steps, right? Like we don't go through those extra steps. Like we make a goal, right? I'm going to go, say my goal will be, I'm going to go by next month, I'm going to go to New York, right? So I'm just going to go to New York. I'm going to, have a flight. I'm going to find my flight. I'm going to go to New York. But really it's all of those other things to kind of look at and plan and kind of create that has me set up to go to New York in a way that has, because I am in a relationship, that has my partner feel like they were supported and heard, just like not on a whim, that my daughter is supported, that I can feel peaceful and free to be away and have all my responsibilities as, my business inside my personal life. Those are the things we kind of don't always go through everything. Is that going to be an opportunity to do that? Will there be exercises around that, or is there something a little bit different in your program?
No, there'll be an opportunity to do exactly what you said. It's so the end goal is going to New York. So
Right.
what are the steps going backwards that you need to get there? Because as you pointed out, we go through it and it lands like it's a lot of work.
Yes.
And like something to do. And oh my gosh, if I don't get this done, it's not going to be right. And so looking at it in a way, these are the 10 things that need to get done. And actually taking ownership of it versus like, oh, I got to do this. And if I don't get, there's a different energy when you're in that energy versus saying, okay, my daughter needs to be taken care of. Okay, daycare, after daycare, whatever that is, my husband, making a plan with him, how that's going to look. And as you said, setting him up powerfully. So when you are not there, he doesn't feel like you just ran out the door and got on the plane and said, see ya, right? But he was part of this process.
And really for ourselves, right? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to have any peace of mind, any ease in our lives if all of that is still in our mind. Like, what didn't I do? Or did I not explain this? Or, there I am off having a good time. And then you get those phone calls, right? You can really set yourself up powerfully, being able to work with someone and have these effective tools and these opportunities to really go through that process. So, because for me, when I'm on vacation or if I'm wherever I am, I want to be at my 100% attention of that, not with you, but thinking, oh my God, is he doing this? Oh my God, did he pick her up? Whatever that may be, right? That's awesome. When I first heard when you had shared with me about the program and you had sent me a quick little email and I sort of swiped, it's interesting because the first thing I thought of was, when I read the acronym, I'm like, oh, awesome, totally being able to have a whole day to plan. And for me, it came up as like swiping away all of those, what I like to call in my mindset, the overwhelm that you were talking about. Sometimes we feel overwhelmed. We take on too much. We feel like we don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't know how to begin. You have this idea. You have this business. You have this whatever personal thing going on. And our mind tends to get overwhelmed. And I was like, oh, how beautiful. And I didn't know what the 21 was about. I thought maybe it was a 21-day kind of program. And you'll share more about that. But I was like swiping away all of those, what I like to call low energies, right? Those low mind energies that are just like overwhelmed, upset, don't know, I can't, I not now. And that you would be able to provide that support to kind of move that energy out of the way, provide some space for us to then really, like you said, start creating something that we can take little baby steps in and start being able to do.
Yes, I'll speak to that. But first, I want to speak to the word powerfully because we've used it a couple times, and that can actually trigger someone. Because, right, if you're like, what do you mean by powerfully? I am powerful. I'm good at what I do, and what does this powerful mean? And powerful really just means in our spirit energy, not our low energy. Low energy is have to do it. Oh my gosh, I have 5 minutes. And if I don't do it, if you're working for someone and you miss an email, miss sending something out, you have a choice. You can pretend you forgot. Right? And that creates a certain energy, which is not a good feeling. Or you can powerfully say, you know what? I forgot it. I realized it. I did it now. I realized I should have done it last week and I did not. And that's a different energy level.
That's responsible energy level, it sounds like really, being responsible for the things you do or you don't do.
Being responsible, but also taking ownership of it. We take ownership of our successes. Well, take ownership of your failure. Or what you're doing. And then also it lets the person know that you're speaking to, whether it's a boss or a colleague or, whether it's even
friend, partner, anything.
Anyone really. It's like, I'm human. I get to make mistakes. I don't like it. and you move on, versus being in the space of beating yourself up for the next 3 hours, because that happens too. If we don't do something, or how often do we miss a deadline or some, whatever that project is, or whatever, or we miss picking someone up, or we're late, and then we're apologizing forever.
Yes.
And that's not a good place to be in. So the word powerfully is just taking ownership, allowing yourself to take ownership, whether it's success or whether it's failure. And it's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's just what happened, just what happened.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so I just want to clarify that, because that can be a trigger for some listeners.
No, this is great. Listen, people, this is coaching on the court. Here we go.
So.
Awesome. So share a little bit more. So, okay, so we've got, we're giving this this opportunity to start like really looking at our goals, having us kind of explore what we want, for 2021, whatever that may be. So is this, and you'll share more about the date and when and how to register and all that, but is this open for anybody? You don't have to, like you said, be a coach. You don't have to, is this open for, just everyday lay person that's like, I'm ready to start 2021. I know I want to have some type of goal. I kind of have these thoughts. Or is this like specifically for corporations?
No, this is open to anyone. Love to present it to corporations. This is open to anyone, whether you have a goal or a plan or not. It's also open to someone if you thought about working with a coach and you're not quite sure what that would look like. And there's one of the things I learned for myself. It's great to be in community, but if you've never actually worked with a coach, and again, this is my opinion, some of it based on my experience and also my personal experience, and based on watching other and working with some clients. But if you've never worked with a coach and you go into a big program with lots of people and you don't have that one-on-one, you're almost lost. A lot of coaching is not about the doing. It's about the inner work. It's about what you talked about and what we've been talking about all along. It's about the knowing, really knowing yourself. What are your holdbacks? What stops you? Procrastination is something that people say, oh, I'm a procrastinator. And I always say to my clients, procrastination is a choice of not doing. So if you're choosing not to do, then powerfully say, I'm not going to do it. Don't use procrastination. And the next step, as you mentioned before, is why? Why are you saying you want this, but you're not willing to do it? And we all find ourselves in that space. I don't care how much coaching you've had. I don't care how long you've been in coaching. I don't care if you're a coach, right? I mean, there's things that I just don't want to do. And I next day, no, I don't want to do it. And then you'll find someone that'll have a conversation with you, and either you'll become very clear that this is not what you want to do, or you'll have a shift in thought and say, maybe I don't do it the way I looked at it first, but it might work this way for me. So that's what we'll go over in the program. Pretty much how it will work is, I love worksheets, so I'll hand out some sheets so we can answer these questions, get clear for ourselves what it is we want. And we'll come together, receive some insights, we'll be in community. And with that, we learn in community. So if we're sharing in community, then someone will respond and we'll get ideas from that as well. And then we'll have 30, 40 minutes where you actually get to work on your project, or figure out what it is you want and how did you come about it. And then we come back and we'll share. We'll share in community. What was your process? What did you decide? And how was that for you? And what are your ideas? So it'll also be about the sharing within community and learning from each other, not just myself talking the whole time. That's really not what it's about. It's about interaction, participation, and sharing.
Nice. I just was able to learn while we were here, an opportunity to have people to join us live. So I just posted that if anybody would like to join us live, there's a little link that they can join on to. They could be our guest. And I just said, if you want to talk to Diane about and you have any questions, they can also send in some comments. So I'm excited that I'm doing this with you, just in case anybody wants to come on live and ask you anything that we've been talking about right now. You know, we're really speaking about the program and giving an opportunity of really like coaching on the court right here, just inside of our conversation. I love it. I love it. Awesome. So do we have a date and a time of like when you're starting this?
We do. So for those that are signing up today, like if you're on the court and you want to come in, I'd like to meet Monday, the 21st, for like about an hour and just bring people into we'll have a closed group. So bring everyone into the group and I'll hand out the worksheets. And if you can't make it on Monday, that's fine as well. It'll be Monday at 11 a.m. for about 30 minutes or so.
So are you doing this virtual? This is virtual?
It's going to be virtual on via Zoom.
Okay, so hold on. Let's get this all for everybody. So the first opportunity for our SWIPE program, right? First opportunity for SWIPE 21 is on Monday, December 21st at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Well, correct.
And yeah, and so how can they register? How can they reach out to you about this?
So they can reach out to me, email me at swiped, SWIPED, 21
Yep.
at yahoo.com.
21 at yahoo.com. Awesome.
Okay.
Is there a charge for the program?
There is a charge of $75. So it's my gift to the community.
Awesome. Great. Register at swipe.com. It's a total of $75 from what time? How many hours is it?
So it will be, the main event is Wednesday, January 13th.
Okay. Got it.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
The main event is, so this Monday, they can register for this 11 a.m. Eastern Time for 1 hour with you?
It's probably going to be about 30 minutes. I'll just hand them out their information and set them up powerfully so they can start thinking about what they want to create for themselves, and whether it's personal and or whether it's creating their calendar for 2021. What does that look like? Projects. Maybe it's job interviewing. It's not something they've done. Creating a business, a company, or maybe they, retiring, or they're changing careers.
Right.
Maybe they someone that has worked in one field and has decided that, after whatever the length may be, that they want to try something totally different. I've had an artist, one of my clients was an artist, it still is an artist, but decided to go into the financial business. And that's a total different temperament, Yeah. When the art world, there are deadlines and there's a certain excitement. When you're in the financial world, it's all about time, timing, and scheduling, and so different than different pace, different energy, and also then realizing, this particular client, because then you also have an idea of maybe who would your client be. You don't really quite know yet who your client is, and we came to the realization that actually everyone you talk to is your client, potential.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and I've worked with a young lady that moved from state to state, had has a caretaking business and works with her partner who also does landscaping. And they brought it from state to state, and she had to get all her credentials here. In the meantime, she was going to school. She was a mom, and her mom had gotten sick. And she was just running herself ragged and would fall asleep at night. And then she'd make herself wrong because she didn't do her homework. And, so for her, my assignment for her was to schedule in me time. And she said, yes. I don't have time for me time. I said, well, you have two choices. My point of view, obviously, you can keep falling asleep on the couch at night and beat yourself up all day for not getting your business side of the work done. Or you can actually schedule yourself me time, and maybe it's on the weekends, and get things done during the week. And eventually she allowed her partner to take her out. They went to dinner, had a fantastic time. And then she, scheduled it in. And, still some nights fell asleep on the couch, but not like before. Got her licenses, finished 3-4 courses that she was doing online, and was able to work in her business. So
that's beautiful.
And that's a process. That process was 3-4 months, 5 months. So it's not something that happens overnight. And that's another thing about coaching. People think, oh, I'm going to work with this coach and I'm going to be fixed tomorrow. There's nothing to fix. It's all about exploring and finding out, right? It's like a treasure. You're a treasure hunter.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you and I have been doing this stuff for a long time. And it's funny you said that. I have a dear friend of mine who had worked with another man who literally, that's their other type of coaching. He wrote a book, and it's based on archaeology, how we are digging. So it's so funny you came up with that we're digging through, all of these conversations, all of these past experiences, all of these things. So it's beautiful that you said that. I definitely want to get on here because we've got some people watching, and that these will stay on when we're finished and it goes up live on our pages. The Main Swipe day event with Diane Pratt is January. What's that date?
13th, the 13th, which is a Wednesday.
Is Wednesday, January 13th, and time is
10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Great. And again, they can register. So that $75 is for that main day?
The $75 is for all of it, yes.
Yes, so $75 includes that wonderful Monday time with Diane to get all of the paperwork and start to get your mind thinking and going, and then includes that beautiful day with you. Awesome. All right, I've got that in our notes as well. Yeah, I love this. This is like so much fun. I have to look at my calendar to see if I'm available, but I hope that you continue to do it. Even though it's the beginning of January, maybe you'll be able to find for yourself in your own time an evening or a weekend or something like that works for people who might not be able to do that during the day.
Absolutely. And, myself working with a coach, of course, our language is, what do you have at stake for 2021?
Yes.
And I, my response to my coach was, at stake. I don't use that language. What are you talking about? And she's like, well, what do you want? And so I told her about the Swiped event. And then I was like, I'd love to do at least 2 more. So this is by May. So this is not for the whole year. The deadline for myself was May. I said, I'd love to do 2 more between now and May, or, from January event. And so we put that down, and she's like, and how many people would you like in your room? And
yes.
all of that, right? So and I'm like, yeah, so that was new to me, because I never, for myself, I make goals, and they're either accomplished or not. And sorry, my phone was ringing here, and it's not about failure. So obviously, if you have a goal and you really want it and you don't achieve it, there's that disappointment. But then you also, like you said, need to pivot and look at what worked, what didn't work, why did it work, why did it not work. And so you do kind of a self-assessment, which we don't really do either, right? Because that's digging deeper. And then that means that we have to look at ourselves and beyond, with ourselves. And and we're not trained to do that, because even as children, even it depends on the household, but even when you do tell the truth as a child, sometimes the adults don't believe you. So you learn to pretend and not really be present to what's so. And then that just spirals into your life, and so, it's always good to become present and do an assessment. And so we'll talk about that as well, because that can trigger people as well.
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, you and I have done a lot of this similar personal growth and development work. And I'm grateful for that, because I get to, we're wired as human beings to just take whatever happens in our life, even before we remember. Our brain is, like I like to say, a filing cabinet. It takes information and it makes meaning to it. And it takes information and makes meaning to it. That has nothing to do with you and me. That has to do with the way we are wired as human beings. And then we grow up and we see all the people in our lives and situations that happen and how they react from their, feelings and emotions and all their meanings around it. And literally we have a dictionary that equals, here's a word, here's a definition. That's the meaning of it, right? So we're meaning making human beings, which is beautiful. Like, all of that's beautiful. And through the work that you and I have done is we get to, really see and start to assess where that has impacted us, right? That has not worked as well as we wanted it to, maybe not even worked well at all, and keep the ones that the meaning of it that has really worked. And I'm grateful for that, because I get to do that with my daughter. It's funny you said that, because, I'm teaching her at this moment, when we say as parents, and we all mean it as parents, aunts, uncles, friends, whatever, you can tell me anything. Like, really, you can tell me anything. And then they tell you something and then you get upset. Right then and there, there's the meaning. There's the meaning of, I'm no longer going to trust her, right? Like, you can tell me anything. And even I've seen, you can tell me anything. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to be upset. And then they tell you what they tell you and you get mad and you get upset. And there's a moment in time that you then go, well, I'm not going to do that again. So, and even when I'm learning that, like, I know it, I can know it. And I work with my coach about that, but like really at that moment. So it's been that, like you said, it's a journey. It's not like a quick fix just because I've had all these years of training and I continue to do all these years of training and get coaches and coaching and do all of that stuff. It's a commitment and it's a practice. And we just went through that with Lexi the other day, and she shared what she shared. And it was like that deep breath of, and I could feel it inside. I could feel it inside, like, right? And she's 4, but she told the truth. She told about something that she did, and, and she was wrong, and, like that. And you were just like, and the mom brain right away wanted to be like, what? Why didn't you tell me? Because it was like literally ants in our car. I mean, this is like here's the straight up ants in our car everywhere, like everywhere. Can't find them anywhere. Don't know where they're coming from. End up cleaning them out, found out that, we were having some ant issues in our area, but like while investigating and then cleaning out her lovely little car seat, there was so much stuff that she said every time we're in the car, Josh, I'll be like, did you finish eating that? Yep. She'll hand her the empty bag. She'll hand us the stuff. But there were oranges that she said she finished, that she stuck under there, piece of candy that she said we thought she was finished because here's the empty wrapper. And it was like, whoa, right? So when we saw it, she got to tell, and I just so wanted to explode as a mom. Like, and be like, ew. But I had to, be in that space. Not I had to, I really chose to. Because if I want to create this way of thinking, right, and way of establishing our relationship inside of like open communication and learning. So she said, did you do this? No, Lexi, I'm telling you, it's okay. We all make those mistakes. We've all done those things. When I was little, I hid those things too. And then she got really, and said she did it. And it was like, she was like almost shocked that she didn't per se get in trouble, because it was about teaching her it's safe.
Right.
Like if we want to build that trust. And that's what I mean. It's if this is at 4, when we're working with our clients, they're digging back from way back, and all of that on top of each other. How many times have you
we don't even realize it because it's not a thought process.
It's just not. Or we have a great, way of, you and I can justify anything. We're human beings. We can justify anything.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. So really thank you for like sharing that. And I think this will be really, really powerful for people to, and have fun with it. I mean, that's one thing, guys. If you don't know Diane, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my friend Diane. What I love about Diane, and now Diane's going to be like, what are you doing? See, she's making stuff up in her head. I'm making it up for her. She really knows she's a lot of fun. I've worked with her from Reiki. I've worked with her from, having her be able to support me in my own personal, to my own business life and coaching. And she is really someone, when she says, no judgment, no right, no wrong, that's the experience you're going to get with her. So, come have a conversation with her on the 21st, speak with her for 30 minutes, see if this really resonates for you. Hey, the year that we've been having for 2021, who would like to swipe away some of that, negative stuff and create something that, really is going to fill your heart and your mind up with some joy, some happiness, or something creative that you've always wanted to do. And then have a great time. Register. Go for the class, man. 4 hours with her. She's informative, she's educational, and she's fun. She definitely has a really beautiful way of being with you that no matter what you say, you're never wrong. She takes away all that judgment. She takes away all of that morality and just have you be able to explore your creativity and what you want. So that's what I want to say about you, Diane. And hopefully people who are watching, if this doesn't work for you, share it with you might be like with a friend to say, hey, I heard this, but I think this is great for you. Because we all have somebody in our life that we know this would be great for them.
If you're looking to get a gift, whatever the occasion is, this would be a perfect gift. It's,
I like that.
Right. And if you have friends that, or talked about, or, that could use support, this would be a very, I'm going to say non-invasive, this would be a very non-invasive way to get introduced into coaching. It's not one-on-one. You're in a group. That's the intention. The more, the merrier. And, and when I say in a group, I'm looking for, 10 to 15, not the 20, 30, 40, because even I've been in those groups that are 40, 50, but the reality is when you're live, you end up sitting at a table with 8 or 10 people. And that is your group. Even though you're in 50 people, you're matched with 10 people, and that becomes your group. Those are the people you share with. And so I'm kind of looking to duplicate that on Zoom, OBBS,
yes.
And so I'm not talking about a room of, and I think the screen holds 25 or 30 anyway. And so having it more private and intimate, and that way we also get to share. And you don't have to share. I don't want you to get triggered. You're not coming to the event. You don't have to share. But I would venture to say, when you hear other people share and it's coming from the heart, and as you know, as a coach, my philosophy and my way of coaching is really listening to your heart voice and going, call it intuition, sixth sense, whatever you want to call it. I call it the heart voice, because it is the voice that is inside of you, not the little voice in your head that when you get this brilliant idea and you share it with someone, and they don't see your vision. So, that's one of the other things is we have these fantastic ideas. We share them with people. We're so excited. They don't see our vision, but it's not because our vision is wrong. They don't see our vision because it's not their vision. But like you said, we take it, because somewhere along in life, we take it that we're wrong, and we're not.
Yeah.
We are so right. It's not their vision, so they can't see that, you know. I was actually coaching, a young couple, and I was coaching the husband. And, you know, we didn't really focus on his wife, but, you know, life includes a partner. And it doesn't matter if you're the husband or the wife or whatever, same, you know. And so he had talked about, and I finally said, well, you know, why don't you ask her when she speaks to you if she's looking for feedback or she just wants you to listen? And he looked at me and I said, you know, the great thing about men, and again, this is a general conversation. This is not like, this is it, right? But as a species, men in general want very few things. One, they want the woman they're with to be happy. Like they care about their family to be happy. They want to fix things because somewhere in their life they were told that that's what they need to do, and that comes from way back when. Let's like innate. They want to fix things. So when you tell them a problem, they're listening to fix it. And women response is, I'm not stupid. I can take care of it myself. But you know, so we're totally opposite, and neither one is right or wrong. It's just like that just happens, right? But and I said, so why don't you ask her how she wants you to listen? I said, I bet you'll get some points. And ask her if she wants a response before you respond. And so he actually did take me up on it. And when we saw each other again, and he reported, he says, you know, that really worked. And I said, and he goes, you know, I come, and now the wife works also, so it's not like she was home all day waiting for him. She goes, you know, when I come home and she's home before me, she just like inundates me. And I said, well, why don't you come home? I mean, you know, have this conversation, not the day of, but let her know that when you come home, you need what's called transition time. And you come home, you want to go take off your clothes or whatever it is you do, or, you know, if you came from the gym, you want to take a shower, and you just need 5-10 minutes to transition from outside, from your outside self to being into your inside self. And to give you that, you know, 10-15 minute time to do the transition, and then you're all first. they didn't have to. And you know, so he took me up on it, and he said things were going a lot better. And she was surprised, but she appreciated it because they had an open conversation, and he told her, you know, it came from me. And so yes, you know, so it's things that we don't even think about because we're in a routine. We're pre-programmed, right? We're pre-programmed.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, that is a lot of the work that Josh and I have as a relationship. And, you know, we fail at it often. When I say fail, because we forget, right? So much in our brain. But a lot from the same, you know, coaching as Diane is sharing. I'm the excited one, as you can all tell people, and enjoy to talk. So I'd love to come in. And I also know that he's, you know, very intentional and focused in his business, but I want to share something with him. So we really now create a very intentional time. Like if I walk in the house, I first listen. I hear if he's on the phone, I'll text him, I'll leave him a note. You know, all of that, and then just be able, when it's time and he's like, hey, I'll say, do you have the time? You know, I've got something I want to share. I just want to share this with you. Don't want any feedback, don't want anything. I just want to share this with you. And then he'll say yes or no, right? And then if he hears something, I could sometimes see him wait to give me feedback. And I'm like, I told you no feedback. You know, I just wanted to share it. And it takes time, but it really makes, you know, 12 years into our relationship, it's a lot of fun. And we totally mess up at times, but it's part of our foundation in communication in our relationship. So I really appreciate you sharing that with everybody. It's beautiful to have that type of coaching, to have that type of support. And then now we can take it on in our lives, right? And move forward, just like your client did with his wife, which is really, really great. Yeah. This was fun, Diane. We are now at 4:56. So I wrote everything that we needed in there. We've had viewers on and off. We've got 3 more viewers right now. Hey, I don't know who they are, but thank you for joining Diane and I today. Diane has shared today her beautiful new program called Swiped 21 on December 21st, which is this upcoming Monday at 11 a.m. She has an opportunity to share with you a little bit more about the program, give you the tools that are needed to get you set up for the big day, which is on January 13th on a Wednesday from 11 to 2. This is all Eastern Standard Time. All of that 30 minutes with Diane on Monday and those 4 hours is for $75. You get an opportunity to really feel like what it's like to be in with a coach, but done in a really nice intimate setting, in with other people like yourself. If you're a little shy around being in groups, this is perfect because you can be in group. You don't have to say anything. What I have to say about groups, what I really love about groups is I get to listen to other people. And if I don't feel like sharing, I really get to start being like, oh, that's me. I relate to that. Ooh, that sounds good. And sooner or later, I'm clear in those 4 hours, you're going to want to finally say something. But like Diane says, you don't have to say anything. You could still get everything you want out of the program. And if this isn't for you right now, she'll be creating other ones between now and May, but definitely gift it to somebody in your life. Awesome. I love that. I didn't even think about like gifting. That is like brilliant. So see, from one coach helping me to another coach, I'm using that now. Gifting. So I love it. It's beautiful. If you've missed it or if you're going to get to see this later, guys, thank you for watching it. Reach out to Diane. Diane is right now using the email for her Swiped program at swiped21 at Yahoo. That's SWIPED 21 at yahoo.com. But Diane, if they want to like just in general get to find out about your other coaching services, I want to put this in the chat. Can you tell me the best way that they can check out, your otter coaching services or how to contact you?
Sure. They can also contact me at Diane at Phoenix for Life Coaching, and the 4 is actually a number 4.
Diane at PH.
Yeah, Diane.
Phoenix for me.
PHOENIX, the number 4, Life, LIFE.
Yep.
Coaching,
Coaching.com.
My website is under construction. I've changed my website, so it's not quite up yet. But for the
yep, so they can reach you that way.
Yeah, they can reach me that way. And and for the Swiped, we'll have our own group. So that will be close to the public. Public can't even see because, you have the opportunity to have a group that is close to the public, but they can see what everyone is. We're private. So
nice.
Private, you can't find us, you can't see us. It's only by invite. So definitely want to have that privacy around the Swiped program. Once my
go ahead.
No, so and then once my website is up, I'll let everyone know. But right now it's still in progress.
Perfect. I just added that too. This event is a private event and invitation only. That's good to know because people, again, have their own conversation about what Zoom is, and Zoom often goes live and, people can see it. So we know that you also have these settings. And so this particular event, Diane has created privately. So it's only by invitation and everything will be just with the group right there. No one else can see it. So thanks, Diane. Thank you so much for coming on today. I heard as we're leaving, because I'm in South Florida, and today's a cloudy day, a little bit cooler in the 70s, but I heard there's snow. Is that true?
There is snow, and we did have some snow flurries the other day. Actually, we've had them twice, some over the weekend. And we are predicted to have snow up to 12 inches starting tomorrow into Thursday. So we will see.
Is that New York City too?
Well, it's in New York, so it's going to be in the 20s. So if it's in the 20s, it'll be cold enough to have that as well. So the state has all the trucks and the salt and all that, getting ready, and we're all running to the grocery store just in case.
Wow, yeah, that's great.
Milk and soup and whatever if you have children, right? Just to have snacks for them because, and the interesting thing, of course, is, we'll all be inside. So almost nothing will have changed other than it's snowing versus sunny. And, but it'll be interesting just to watch it. And
wow, yeah, right before we were on, I'm adding some more information here. I'd found out from, like I said, from my best friend. So it was like I was like, oh no. I was like, 12 inches. My daughter wants to fly there and wants to, she wants snow so badly because she misses it. She saw it just once in her 4 little year life. She saw it.
And she remembers it.
Oh, she does, because we have video, and it's like, it was in Massachusetts, and it was this much snow, and it was crunchy, and then she had a little sleigh, which was more icy, and she thought that was cool. She has no idea what like big snow is. And here in Florida, you can go ice skating, so she just finished her ice skating, and the Zamboni comes and gets all the ice. So they put it outside and they make snow. It makes a big snow mound. So she runs over there and they go, oh, she thinks it's the best thing in the world. She's like, I want snow. So if we could, she would, be in the snow. So for all you guys that don't appreciate snow, there are other people out there that do. You travel back safely. I know that you live, you're in the city, so a little bit outside. So be safe back. And I'm looking forward to everybody being able to contact you and be able to be in your program or upcoming programs. As always, I love you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, everyone. And thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. And this was a lot of fun. It's always fun being with you. And thank you, everyone, for listening and coming on. And I look forward to getting to meet you and hopefully see you in this new Swipe program to have some fun.
Awesome. All right, people, from Regina Rossi Lamont and Diane Pratt from Here for You Connections and Resources. Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Yes, happy.
All right, I think, hold on.